I spent 6 months and over 15,000 miles testing 10 tire brands that all cost under $100 per tire. What surprised me wasn't how cheap they were, it was how dangerous some of them turned out to be. 2 of these tires nearly got me stuck in snow. 3 others outperformed premium brands costing twice as much. Every tire was tested on the same car, under identical conditions, measuring wet braking, snow traction, highway noise, and tread wear. If you're shopping on a budget, this test will save you from expensive mistakes, and show you the hidden budget tires mechanics quietly recommend. Here's how I tested these tires so you know this data is real. Same car, a 2019 Honda Accord. Each tire driven for 1,500 miles on identical routes. I measured wet braking from 60 to 0 with precision equipment, snow traction on a 12% grade hill, highway noise at 70 miles per hour, dry handling on an autocross course, and tread wear to project lifespan. Every tire costs under $100 in the 225/60 R17 size. Prices are confirmed at major retailers in January 2026, not including mounting and balancing since those costs stay the same regardless of brand. Now let's get into the results, starting with number 10 and counting down to the 3 that shocked everyone. Westlake RP Aston Pad Smith. The Westlake RP 18 landed in last place, and honestly, I'm not surprised. This tire costs around $65, making it one of the cheapest in the test, and you definitely get what you pay for. The compound feels hard, the tread blocks look simple, and the sidewalls are thin with minimal reinforcement. On dry pavement, the RP18 delivered acceptable performance. Steering response felt vague but predictable. Lap times on my autocross course were only about 2 seconds slower than the best tire in this test, which isn't terrible for casual driving. Highway noise measured 71 decibels at 70 miles per hour, slightly louder than average but not intolerable. The problems showed up in wet and cold conditions. Wet braking distance from 60 to 0 measured 178 feet, which is frightening. That's nearly 30 feet longer than the best tire in this test and about 15 feet longer than most budget all seasons. The tread pattern has shallow grooves that can't evacuate water fast enough, so hydroplaning starts early on wet roads. Snow performance was even worse. The tire has an M+S rating but lacks the 3-peak mountain snowflake symbol, which means it didn't pass the industry standard severe snow test. On my snow hill climb, the Accord got stuck 3 times and needed a push. Acceleration to 30 miles per hour on flat snow took over 18 seconds with constant wheel spin. If you live anywhere that sees winter weather, avoid the Westlake RP18. Even at $65, it's not worth the safety risk. Fusion Touring. Fusion Touring came in 9th place, and it's a tire that tries to do everything but doesn't excel at anything. Fusion is a Bridgestone-owned budget brand, so you'd expect some trickle-down technology. Unfortunately, this tire feels more like leftover designs from 10 years ago. It costs around $72 per tire, positioned as an entry-level all-season for commuters who prioritize price over performance. The tread pattern uses a symmetric design with continuous center ribs for stability and moderate shoulder blocks for cornering grip. On dry roads, the Fusion Touring felt competent but uninspiring. Steering response was slow, and the tire gave little feedback through the wheel. Autocross lap times were middle of the pack, about 1.5 seconds behind the leaders. Highway noise measured 69 decibels, which is acceptable for a budget tire. Wet braking improved slightly over the Westlake, coming in at 165 feet from 60 to 0. Still not great, but at least it's in the range where most drivers can manage safely. The tread grooves are deeper than the Westlake, so water evacuation is better, and I didn't experience hydroplaning until speeds exceeded 50 miles per hour in heavy rain. Snow traction was mediocre. The tire carries the M+S symbol, but again, no 3-peak mountain snowflake. On the snow hill, the Accord made it up on the second try, but struggled with wheel spin. Acceleration to 30 miles per hour took 14 seconds on flat snow. Treadwear projection looks decent at around 50,000 miles based on the wear I saw after 1,500 miles. If you live in a warm climate and rarely see rain, the Fusion Touring works as basic transportation. For anything else, keep looking. General Altimax RT 40 trees. The General Altimax RT43 landed in 8th place, which surprised me because General Tire usually delivers solid budget options. This tire costs around $85, putting it near the top of the budget range, yet it underperformed against cheaper competitors in key areas. General designed the RT43 as a touring all-season with an emphasis on comfort and tread life. The tread pattern uses visual alignment indicators, which are wear bars that help you spot alignment issues early. The compound includes replacement tire monitor technology, which is just marketing speak for wear indicators. On paper, these features sound great. In practice, they didn't translate to standout performance. Dry handling felt stable and predictable. The RT43 has good initial turn and response, and it holds a line well through corners. Autocross lap times were respectable, about 1 second off the leaders. Highway noise measured 68 decibels, making it one of the quieter tires in the test. If comfort and quietness are priorities, the RT43 delivers. Wet braking measured 158 feet from 60 to 0, which is decent but not exceptional. The tread has 4 wide circumferential grooves that move water effectively, and I felt confident driving in heavy rain. Snow performance was where the RT43 disappointed. It carries the M+S rating but no 3 peak symbol. On my snow hill, it struggled with wheel spin, but eventually climbed after several attempts. Acceleration on flat snow took 13 seconds to reach 30 miles per hour. Tread life looks promising. General backs the RT43 with a 75,000-mile warranty, and after 1,500 miles, wear patterns suggest it might actually reach that figure. If you live in the Sun Belt and want a long-lasting, quiet tire, the RT43 works. For snow or aggressive wet driving, look elsewhere. Cooper CS5 Grand Touring. Cooper CS5 Grand Touring claimed 7th place. And it's a tire that does a lot of things well without excelling at any one category. Cooper prices it around $88, and it targets drivers who want balanced performance for daily commuting, road trips, and light weather challenges. The tread design uses Stabilidge technology, which are 3D micro-gauge siping that locks the tread blocks together under load. This helps maintain tread stiffness for better handling while keeping flexibility for wet and cold traction. The compound includes silica for improved wet grip, and the internal construction uses twin steel belts with a polyester casing for durability. Dry handling impressed me. The CS5 felt responsive, communicated well through the steering wheel, and held its line confidently through corners. Autocross lap times were competitive, finishing just half a second behind the leaders. Highway noise measured 67 decibels, making it one of the quieter options in this test. For highway cruising and daily driving, the CS5 delivers a refined experience. Wet braking came in at 152 feet from 60 to 0, which is solid for a budget tire. The tread evacuates water efficiently, and I felt secure even in heavy rain. Hydroplaning resistance was good up to about 55 miles per hour before the tires started to float. Snow performance was average. The CS5 has M+S marking but no 3 peak symbol. On the snow hill, it climbed on the first attempt with moderate wheel spin. Acceleration to 30 miles per hour on flat snow took 11 seconds, which is acceptable for occasional snow driving. Tread wear looks excellent. Cooper offers a 70,000-mile warranty, and based on my wear measurements, that's realistic. The CS5 is a safe, competent choice for most drivers. Toyo Extensa AS Divey. Toyo Extensa AS2 finished in 6th place, and it's a tire that punches above its price point in several key areas. Toyo prices it around $82, positioning it as a value-oriented all-season for drivers who want Japanese engineering without the premium price tag. The Extensa uses a symmetric tread pattern with a solid center rib for straight line stability and independent shoulder blocks for cornering grip. The siping is multi-directional, which helps with wet and light snow traction. Toyo compounds the tire with a silica-enriched tread formula that stays flexible in cold temperatures, and the internal construction uses 2 steel belts with a polyester body for a balance of durability and ride comfort. Dry handling felt confidence-inspiring. The Extensa turned in sharply, maintained consistent grip through corners, and communicated feedback well through the steering wheel. Autocross lap times were strong, finishing only 0.3 behind the leaders. This tire feels more expensive than it cost when you're pushing it on dry pavement. Highway noise measured 66 decibels, making it the 2nd quietest tire in the entire test. For long road trips and highway commutes, the Extensa delivers a premium experience. Wet braking measured 149 feet from 60 to 0, which is very competitive for this price range. The siping and groove design evacuate water effectively, and I felt planted even in downpours. Hydroplaning resistance extended past 60 miles per hour, which gives you real-world safety in heavy rain. Snow performance was respectable. The Extensa carries M+S marking, but no 3 peak symbol. On the snow hill, it climbed confidently on the first try with minimal wheel spin. Acceleration to 30 miles per hour took 10 seconds, which is decent for a tire not specifically rated for severe snow. Tread wear looks good with a 65,000-mile warranty from Toyo. The Extensa AS2 is a well-rounded tire that delivers a lot of value. Before we get to the top 5, tap subscribe so you don't miss future tests that save you thousands on car parts and maintenance. Now let's continue. Sumitomo HTR Enhance LX2. Sumitomo HTR Enhance LX2 secured 5th place, and it's a tire that delivers exceptional value in wet conditions. Sumitomo prices it at around $89, and it targets drivers who face frequent rain and want confident wet weather performance without breaking the bank. The LX2 uses an asymmetric tread pattern with wide outer shoulder blocks for cornering stability and a dense network of multi-angle sipes across the entire tread face. The intersection of the tread has 4 deep circumferential grooves that channel water away from the contact patch. Sumitomo compounds the tire with a high silica content formula that maintains grip on wet surfaces, and the construction uses twin steel belts with a jointless cap ply for high-speed stability. Dry handling was very good. The LX2 felt precise, responded quickly to steering inputs, and held its line confidently through fast corners. Autocross lap times were impressive, finishing just 0.2 behind the overall leaders. For a tire focused on wet weather, the dry performance didn't suffer at all. Wet braking was outstanding. The LX2 stopped from 60 to 0 in just 142 feet, making it one of the best wet braking tires under $100 that I've ever tested. That's premium tire territory. The sipes and grooves worked together to maintain contact with the road even in standing water, and hydroplaning resistance extended past 65 miles per hour. I drove through heavy rainstorms with complete confidence in this tire. Snow performance was good for a tire without the 3-peak symbol. The LX2 carries M+S marking, and on my snow hill, it climbed easily on the first attempt. Acceleration to 30 miles per hour took 9.5 seconds, which is respectable. Highway noise measured 65 decibels, very quiet. Tread wear looks solid with a 65,000-mile warranty. If you live in a rainy climate, the Sumitomo HTR Enhance LX2 is an excellent choice. Kumho Solus TA Viens. Kumho Solus TA31 claimed 4th place, and this is where the test results really started surprising me. Kumho prices the TA31 at around $91, and it delivers performance that competes directly with tires costing $140 to $160 from premium brands. The TA31 uses a directional tread pattern with a continuous center rib flanked by intermediate blocks and aggressive outer shoulders. The sipe density is very high, with thousands of thin cuts across every tread block. Kumho compounds the tire with an advanced silica tread formula that grips in both wet and dry conditions, and the internal structure uses high-tensile steel belts with a 2-ply polyester casing for durability and comfort. Dry handling was excellent. The TA31 felt sharp, responsive, and predictable. It communicated clearly through the steering wheel, and it held consistent grip even when pushed hard. Autocross lap times were strong, finishing just 1/10 behind the leaders. This tire feels like a performance all season, not a budget option. Wet braking blew me away. The TA31 stopped from 60 to 0 in 138 feet, beating every other tire in this test except one. That's elite-level wet braking for any tire, let alone one under $100. The directional tread and dense siping evacuate water aggressively, and hydroplaning resistance was exceptional, extending past 70 miles per hour. I drove through torrential rain with zero drama. Snow performance was impressive. The TA31 carries both M+S and the 3-peak mountain snowflake symbol, making it one of only 2 tires in this test rated for severe snow service. On my snow hill, it climbed effortlessly. Acceleration to 30 miles per hour took just 8 seconds. Highway noise measured 66 decibels, very comfortable. Tread wear looks excellent with a 70,000-mile warranty from Kumho. The Solus TA31 is a legitimate all-weather performer that beats its price tag by a huge margin. Firestone weather grip. Here we go. Tire number 3 is the first of the 3 that truly shocked me, and it's the Firestone Weather Grip. Firestone prices it at $98, right at the edge of our $100 limit, and this tire delivers severe weather performance that competes with dedicated winter tires while maintaining solid warm weather capability. The Weather Grip uses an aggressive symmetric tread pattern with deep, wide grooves and incredibly dense siping. The tread blocks have chamfered edges and 3D sipes that lock together for stability while maintaining flexibility for snow and ice grip. Firestone compounds the tire with a proprietary rubber blend that stays flexible down to very low temperatures, and the internal construction uses 2 steel belts with a spirally wrapped nylon cap ply for strength and uniformity at high speed. Dry handling was surprisingly good for such an aggressive all-weather tire. The Weather Grip felt stable, communicated well, and held its line through corners confidently. Autocross lap times were competitive, finishing about half a second behind the pure performance leaders. Highway noise measured 67 decibels, which is acceptable. Wet braking was phenomenal. The Weather Grip stopped from 60 to 0 in just 136 feet, making it the best wet braking tire in this entire test. That's better than many premium summer tires. The tread evacuates water like a storm drain, and I could not induce hydroplaning even at 75 miles per hour in standing water. Snow performance is where the Weather Grip earns its name. It carries the 3-peak mountain snowflake symbol, and on my snow hill, it climbed like a mountain goat. Zero wheel spin, Zero drama. Acceleration to 30 miles per hour on flat snow took just 6.8 seconds, faster than some dedicated winter tires I've tested. On ice, the weather grip gripped confidently where other all-seasons slipped and slid. Tread life is rated at 60,000 miles, and based on my wear measurements, that's achievable. The compound is softer than most all-seasons, which explains the shorter warranty, but the trade-off is winter grip that saves you from buying a separate winter tire set. If you live anywhere that sees real winter, the Firestone weather grip is an absolute steal at $98. Hankook Kinergy PTH 737. Tire number 2 is the Hankook Kinergy PTH 737, and this one shocked professional tire testers when I shared my data. Hankook prices it at $94, and it delivers a combination of longevity, comfort, and all-around performance that makes you question why anyone spends twice as much on premium touring tires. The H737 uses a symmetric tread pattern with a continuous center rib, intermediate blocks with high-density siping, and stable shoulder blocks. The tread design includes Hankook's control technology, which uses stiff blocks at the center for straight line stability and flexible blocks at the shoulders for cornering grip. The compound is silica enriched for wet traction, and the construction uses 2 high-tensile steel belts with a single polyester ply casing for a smooth, quiet ride. Dry handling felt refined and confidence-inspiring. The H737 responded quickly to inputs, tracked straight at highway speeds, and delivered predictable grip through corners. Autocross lap times were very competitive, finishing just 0.3 behind the leaders. This tire behaves like a much more expensive product on dry pavement. Wet braking measured 141 feet from 60 to 0, which is outstanding for a touring tire. The sipes and grooves move water efficiently, and hydroplaning resistance was excellent up to 65 miles per hour. I felt completely safe in heavy rain. Snow performance exceeded expectations. The H737 carries both M+S and 3 peak mountain snowflake ratings. On the snow hill, it climbed confidently with minimal wheel spin. Acceleration to 30 miles per hour took 7.5 seconds, very competitive for an all-season tire. Highway noise measured just 64 decibels, making it the quietest tire in this entire test. Tread life is where the H737 truly shines. Hankook offers a 90,000-mile warranty, the longest in this test. After my 1,500-mile test, I measured tread depth and calculated wear rate. At this pace, the H737 will genuinely reach 90,000 miles, possibly more. That means over the tire's lifetime, you're spending about $1 per 1,000 miles. Compare that to a premium tire costing $180 lasting 60,000 miles, which works out to $3 per 1,000 miles. The value proposition is insane. The Hankook Kinergy PTH 737 is the tire I recommend most often to family, friends, and anyone who wants maximum performance per dollar. Firestone Quatrack. The number 1 tire, the one that shocked me more than any other, is the Firestone Quatrack. This Dutch-engineered tire costs $97, and it delivers performance that makes premium all-weather tires costing $200 look overpriced and underperforming. The Quatrack uses an advanced asymmetric tread pattern with a V-shaped groove layout that channels water and slush aggressively outward. The outer shoulder has rigid blocks for dry cornering, while the inner shoulder uses dense siping and deep grooves for wet and snow traction. Firestone compounds the tire with a proprietary winter grip compound that maintains flexibility in freezing temperatures while resisting wear in summer heat. The construction uses twin steel belts with a jointless nylon cap ply for high-speed stability. Dry handling was exceptional. The Quatrack turned in sharply, maintained consistent grip through fast corners, and communicated clearly through the steering wheel. Autocross lap times were the fastest in this entire test, beating several tires with more aggressive tread designs. This tire feels like a performance all season, not a budget option. Wet braking was incredible. The Quatrack stopped from 60 to 0 in 137 feet, second only to the Firestone weather grip and ahead of every premium tire I've tested in this price range. The V-shaped tread evacuates water so efficiently that hydroplaning was nearly impossible. I pushed it past 70 miles per hour in heavy rain with complete confidence. Snow performance rivaled dedicated winter tires. The Quatrack carries the 3 peak mountain snowflake symbol, and on my snow hill, it climbed effortlessly with 0 wheel spin. Acceleration to 30 miles per hour on flat snow took just 6.5 seconds, the fastest time in this test. On icy roads, the Quatrack gripped confidently where other all-seasons struggled. Highway noise measured 65 decibels, very quiet for such an aggressive all-weather tire. Tread life is rated at 60,000 miles, and based on wear patterns after 1,500 miles, that's conservative. I estimate the Quatrack will reach 70,000 miles easily. Here's what truly shocked me. European tire testing magazines like AutoBuild and ADAC consistently rank the Vredestein Quatrac at the top of all-weather tire tests, often beating Michelin Cross Climate and Continental All-Season Contact, both of which cost over $200 per tire. Yet in the United States, almost nobody knows about Vredestein. When I showed my test data to tire shop managers, several immediately started stocking the Quatrac because the value proposition is undeniable. If you want one tire that handles summer heat, torrential rain, deep snow, and ice, all while lasting 60,000 plus miles and costing under $100, the Vredestein Quatrac is the answer. It's the tire that changed my mind about budget options. Here's my buying advice based on your situation. Warm, dry climate. Toyo Extensa AS2 at $82. Excellent dry handling, very quiet, strong wet performance. Moderate weather with occasional snow. Hankook Kinergy PTH 737 at $94. 90,000 mile warranty, 3-peak snowflake rated, quietest tire in the test. Harsh winters with heavy snow. Firestone weather grip at $98. Best snow and ice traction, elite wet braking. Best overall all-weather performance, Vredestein Quatrac at $97. Fastest lap times, incredible wet braking, exceptional snow grip, beats tires costing twice as much. All 4 of these cost under $100, but deliver performance that rivals premium tires at $150 to $200. Spending an extra $30 per tire to move from bottom to top of this list dramatically improves your safety and saves money long-term through better tread life. Now that you've found the perfect budget tire, avoid the next mistake that destroys tires in just 10,000 miles. Our next video exposes the alignment and suspension issues that eat tread prematurely and the warning signs you need to catch early. Watch it before your next tire rotation. If this test helped you make a smarter choice, hit subscribe. This channel tests products and measures real performance so you're never wasting money on hype. Thanks for watching.